It's my feel-good breakfast show.
This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, before the break, we said we'll talk about it. Our students were in studio this morning, but a historic period for South Africa indeed. Government has finally caved into the demands of a 0% increase for student and university fees for next year. But how will the government plan to implement this plan? In fact, in simple terms, where will this money come from? Now, spokesperson of the Department of Higher Education and Training, Mr. leigh-anne, is on the phone this morning. So welcome, and thanks for joining us on our Feel Good Breakfast Show. You're live.
Thank you very much, Ilana.
Let me get into it. It's been widely reported about the heavy fee increases in universities, and everyone's demanding something. But will government subsidize all students? In fact, the question is, where will the money come from?
Well, the issue is that now that the president has made that announcement, we, as a department, the Director General of the Higher Education and Training Department, the Treasury and the Presidency this week will have to sit down and work out the plan of where this money can be found, even if it means we go out of government and get it somewhere, or there's a reprioritization from other departments, because this is led by the president. So the presidency can shift money in other departments if needs be, in other areas to put that money in this particular issue. But it's a matter that will be clear in the course of the week once the Director General sit and put a plan which will go to the Cabinet, and the Cabinet will therefore adopt that particular plan. As it stands now, we are ourselves not clear until we get that kind of framework.
Mr. Gaye, also just, I'm told that Minister leigh-anne, they withheld a 3-year report that found free university education was viable. Can you tell us why the report was not released?
Well, I must say that it's unfortunate how the Mail and Guardian reported that issue. That's why we issued a statement even on Saturday to actually clarify the issue. The minister appointed a ministerial working group in 2012 to investigate the model of how to implement free education, which it concluded its work in 2013 February. That report was given to the minister, who then took it first to the ANC, it presented to the ANC, and it presented it after to the Cabinet. The Cabinet therefore engaged on the content of the report. The directive was that it must go to the Treasury for costing, so that upon costing, we start implementing the plan. And the costing in Treasury, and the outcome of that, it was clear that government doesn't have that money, because it shot very high at a time when our national fiscus is under serious constraints. So the Treasury, the minister then was still Minister Pravin Gordhan. The conclusion was that the state is not ready to implement the free education, but we must work on mobilizing resources, the funds, and at an appropriate time, then it will be implemented. But in the meantime, as a stopgap, government must expand NSS so that it continues to crowd in many poor students. And this is what is happening. This year alone, we allocated 9.4 billion. Next year, we're likely to go to 11 billion. But that report has always been there, a public document. The ANC, they have the document, the Cabinet has the document, the Treasury has the document, but to the extent that it could not be implemented as per the directive of the Treasury because of the absence of money, there's nothing that the minister could have done beyond that until such time government is having sufficient resources.
Okay. Well, thank you so for joining us this morning. Spokesperson for the Department of Higher Education and Training, Mr. leigh-anne. Thank you so much for joining us again on our show this morning. Earlier, we had our students, and we're posing this question to you as well. Let's continue this conversation online. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. We're asking the question, what are your thoughts? Should education be free in our country? You can also tweet us with that hashtag Expresso Show or at Expresso Show on Twitter. Well, from one thing that's not a laugh to entertainment news that is.